Hello everyone, this is the e-learning program for Standard 10 organized by Shri Gyan Manjari Vidyapeeth. This is the second lecture for Social Science Standard 10, Chapter number 1, Heritage of India. We have already learnt few things in chapter number 1. Let us first revise a little bit about what we have already learnt. We learnt about the rich and varied heritage of India. Sat, Chit and Anand are realized by Indian culture. People from various countries, different countries, they got attracted to the Indian prosperity and they came here for various reasons like trade, settling, etc. So, with the mixture of cultures of different countries and the culture that existed in India, we became more prosperous. The people who came over here accepted the values of non-violence and peace, which we had adopted, and now whole of the world is admiring the values of non-violence and peace which we have. Our country has been made richer by the intellectuality, ability, talent, skill, etc. by many scholars, thinkers, artisans, sages, saints, scientists, etc. Then we learned the meaning of culture. Culture is a sum of habits, values, customs, traditions, and conduct of lifestyle of human beings. We divided the heritage of India into two: natural heritage of India and cultural heritage of India. We take a pledge in the school that I love my country and I am proud of its rich and varied heritage. In natural heritage of India, we divide that into four parts. The first is landscape, second is rivers, third is vegetation, and the fourth is wildlife. We learned that the features included in natural heritage of India like mountains, forests, deserts, streams, flowers, leaves, insects, and varied landscape, wide range of minerals, vegetation, plants, animals, etc. We are the children of nature, so nature has made beautiful arrangement for our food, water, fresh air, dwelling and to cater to our all needs. We have very close relationship with nature. That is why Panchtantra stories, the Jatak tales of the Buddhist religion, wherein they show a very fine example in the close relationship between human beings and their natural heritage. Landscapes are generally formed due to different shapes of the land. For example, Himalayas, whole of the Himalayas is a very beautiful landscape. Then the strange birds, animals, the mountain peaks, uh, rivers full with water, etc. The forest of Terai, pilgrimage places like Amarnath, Badrinath, Kedarnath, etc. Coming down to rivers, rivers also form a very important part of the natural heritage. There, all the rivers of India, for example, the Indus, Ravi, Ganga, Yamuna, Saraswati, all of them have enriched India, and rivers, they have profoundly influenced the people of India. Rivers are a source of drinking water, domestic use, irrigation, electricity, and waterways. Next is vegetation. The people of India are environment lovers since ancient times. Banyan tree, peepal tree, they are worshipped in India. The land provides us with vegetation like cereals, pulses, oilseeds, plants, green fields. All of them have greatly influenced our lives. Next, coming to wildlife as a part of the natural wildlife. There we have seen that India is a country with animal lover nature, culture, tiger, lion, elephant, rhino, foxes, etc. etc. Lots of organisms are seen in India. Asian lions in the world are found only in the Gir forest of Gujarat. Moreover, our religious belief has given status of uh, god and goddesses vehicles to some of the wild animals like tiger, peacock, etc. We have also given due respect to the wildlife by placing the figure of four lion, horse, and bull on our national currency. Then we come to cultural heritage of India. India has gifted to the world a diverse and a very rich heritage. Cultural heritage is always a man-made heritage. Whatever is received or created by human with its tact, wisdom, art and skill is called cultural heritage. Lots of tribes, people from various parts of the country, they have migrated and come to India. These tribes have settled down in India. Indian culture from the exchange between all this has become more and more rich. The people of India, right from the prehistoric period, have contributed to the people of the world. Architecture and sculpture are 5,000 years old. The remains of this has been found in the Indus Valley civilization. To name a few, we have seen figures of gods and goddesses, humans, animals, and several toys, as well as sculpture of the bearded man, statue of a dancer. All of these were made 5,000 years back, which tells us, and uh, we feel self-respect and pride in the cultural heritage that we have. From the prehistoric time, we come to the Indus Valley civilization. From there, we come down to the Mauryan era, where we have found figures of bullock or lion on an inverted lotus. Then coming down to the Gautam Buddha period, we have statue of Gautam Buddha in a meditative mood. Then we have Kalkan statues of the Jain Tirthankaras. These are very fine examples, and when we see them, we feel proud, glad, and also respect for our cultural heritage. The other things that are included in our cultural heritage, they are palaces, buildings, heritage, temples, mosques. Not only that, but uh, places, historical places of our freedom movement like Sabarmati Ashram, Dandi, Bardoli, Varda, they are also considered as part of our cultural heritage. Besides that, language, script, discovery of zero, calendar, astronomy, Yuddha Shastra, political science, botany, Vastu Shastra, they also form the important discoveries of India and they make part of the cultural heritage of India. Students, you must have completed the assignment given in the first lecture. If you see the assignment, then most of the questions they carry 2 marks each. For example, natural heritage of India, the first part, that is landscape, it carries 2 marks. Then rivers, it carries 2 marks. Vegetation, it carries 2 marks. Description of wildlife as the part of natural heritage, it carries 2 marks. Same way, define the cultural heritage of India, that also carries 2 marks. So this chapter is very important because the marks weightage is of 2 marks for descriptive answers. So we should thoroughly go through small questions that carry 2 marks so that we can score maximum out of this question, out of this chapter. Now we shall go ahead with today's lecture. Now we come to the cultural heritage of India. In the last lecture we studied about the cultural heritage of India. Now we come to cultural heritage of Gujarat. First we will learn about the places having cultural, legendary and archaeological importance. Now let us first understand the terms. We have already learned about the term culture, cultural. Now we learn the term called legendary. Legendary means which has a legend, that means a story attached with it. So places having stories of history attached with it, that is called a legendary place which has a story attached with it of the past, and so it becomes part of the cultural heritage. Next is archaeological importance. Archaeological, where some remains have been found belonging to quite a distant past in the history. Some excavation work is done, that is digging up work is done, so that we can know more about it, and sometimes artifacts, small towns or villages or remains belonging to the past are found, and then they are preserved so that we can learn more about our own history. So that place has an archaeological importance. For example, Lothal. Lothal belonged to the Indus Valley civilization and the Harappan civilization era. That period, people then spread from Indus Valley and the Saptasindhu area to the lower western part of India, that is Gujarat, Maharashtra, etc. Out of that, one of the archaeological site that was found is Lothal, that falls in the Dholka Taluka. Then we have another place of archaeological importance, that is Rangpur, which falls in the Limdi Taluka of the Surendranagar district. Then we have the famous Dholavira site, archaeological site of the Kutch district. Another example is Rosadi or Srinathgarh that falls in the Rajkot district, etc. So we see that these are the places having archaeological importance because remains of Indus Valley or the Harappan civilization was found over here, towns, towns, villages, and some construction work had been done over there. So we find ruins of these places. Artifacts have been found from these places. So these places carry a lot of archaeological importance and they tell us about our rich past. So they naturally become the cultural heritage of India. Now let us learn about some important tourist spots having historical values. For example, the temples, etc., that were built quite in the past. Lots of stories are attached with it. They are the deities or the gods and goddesses that form the basis of the culture. So these spots start having cultural value, they become famous, and then it becomes a tourist spot. When it becomes a tourist spot, people from far and wide, they come to visit this place and try to know more about the culture and heritage of that place. In important tourist spots having cultural and historical values, the places of pilgrimage, for example, the Victory Tower of Vadnagar. Victory Tower of Vadnagar was made to commemorate the victory of Muhammad Begda over Vadnagar. Then we have the stone inscription of King Ashoka at Junagadh. During King Ashoka's reign or rule, he made use of the big and huge boulders or big huge pieces of rocks that were lying here and there. He got them polished properly, and then by the orders of King Ashoka, inscription was done on those rocks. Inscription means with the help of a chisel and hammer, letters were carved out and rules and regulations, etc., were inscribed on those stones, huge big boulders of stones. So, one of that stone is found at Junagadh. So, stone inscription of King Ashoka of Junagadh, one of that stone is found in Junagadh. Next we come to Sun Temple of Modhera. We will learn in detail about the Sun Temple of Modhera in chapter number 6. Here it is just a mention which says that important tourist spot having historical value. One of that is Sun Temple of Modhera. Sun Temple of Modhera, it's a sun temple. That means for worshipping the sun god, a temple has been made at Modhera. Next is Gate of Chapanir. Now, Champaner is a small town, but there are so many monuments over there that are considered very fine example of architecture. So, rather than declaring one or two monuments, whole of the town of Champaner has been declared as a World Heritage Site by the UNICEF. So, we should really be proud, Gujarat should really be proud that it has a very good site that has been declared as World Heritage Site. So, we see here that these culturally important places not only has historical value, not only it is of a very important cultural heritage of Gujarat or India, but even whole of the world considers it a very good example of heritage of the world. Next we have Rudra Mahalaya of Sidhpur. Rudra Mahalaya of Sidhpur is a very fine example of architecture. It has blended sculpting work done inside and outside the temple. Next we have the Mansar Lake of Viramgam, which is also considered as a tourist spot having historical value. Now we will study about the important tourist spots having historical values. Jama Masjid of Ahmedabad is one of the places having importance as a tourist spot. Jama Masjid of Ahmedabad is one of the largest mosque of Ahmedabad. Next is Julta Minara or the Shaking Towers. Julta Minara or Shaking Towers are famous not only in Gujarat or India, but they are famous all over the world because of its construction. The construction of these twin towers is made in such a way that if we climb up on one tower and we do any movement, then that same movement is felt in another tower without doing anything. There is no physical connection between these two towers. So scientists from all over the world, they have visited this place many times and tried to find out the mystery behind such a fabulous construction. But till date, they have not been able to solve the mystery. Next, we have Sidi Sayed Grill or Jali. Sidi Sayed Grill is a uh, design of vegetation that is carved out of stone. It is having very minute and very beautiful carving. It is situated in Ahmedabad and it is quite famous. Next, we have the temples of Hathisi. They are Jain temples. They are so fabulous, they are so fantastically made. This is a very fine example of not only architecture but especially the sculpting work that is done inside the temple, outside, on the walls, the towers that are made, the jarukhas that are made, the pillars, each and every part of the temple has excellent sculpting work. Next we have Sahasraling Lake of Patan. Then we have Rajmahal of Vadodara belonging to the Gaikwad dynasty. Tomb of Mohabbat Khan. Tomb of Mohabbat Khan is famous throughout the world because of its design and very intricate and very beautiful carving and sculpting. Parsi Agyari of Navsari, all these are worth seeing places. Parsi Agyari of Navsari. Now, Agyari, Parsi Agyari. Agyari means a temple belonging to the Parsi community. So, the temple of the Parsi Agyari of Navsari, it is very famous. Now, let us have a glimpse of what we just discussed and learned. Here is a pic of Julta Minara, which is in Ahmedabad, a very fine work of architecture. This pic displays the Jain temples of Hatisi. As we can see, very minute and very beautiful carving work is done, sculpting work is done on stone. For example, we can see pillars, the Jarukha, etc. They clearly look very, very beautiful. This is the picture of Munsal Lake of Virangam. Here, Rudra Mahalay, Sitpur, we can see beautiful sculpting work done on the walls. Pillars, beautiful pillars are made. Small and very minute sculpting work is clearly seen even now. Here we have the Sun Temple of Mordera, which has a tank or what we call a kund below the temple. There are steps leading to the kund. There are actually small sized 108 temples where the steps can be seen. Now we will continue ahead with the cultural heritage of Gujarat. Now we have places having religious importance. There are lots and lots of temples made since long time in Gujarat, and many of those temples have earned a very reputed name. Some of the temples are mentioned over here having religious importance. For example, the Dwarkadish temple of Dwarka. Dwarka, as we know, was the capital of uh, Sri Krishna. So, the Dwarkadish temple of Dwarka has a lot of religious importance. People from far and wide all over the world come over here to visit and worship. Next is Shada Peeth of Jagadguru Shankaracharya. The highest priest of Hindu religion is Shankaracharya. So, the seat of Shankaracharya is known as Sharda Peeth. Then we have this famous Somnath temple, which is one of the 12 Jyotirlingas. Next is Ambaji Mandir or the Ambaji temple in North Gujarat, that is Banaskantha district. Then we have Bahucharaji temple that is situated in the Mehsana district. Ranchodraiji temple that is situated at Dakor, which is in Kheda district now, and the famous Shamlaji temple which is situated in the Aravali district, etc. We have lots and lots of temples having religious importance. Let us have a look at the glorious temples, glorious places having religious importance in the cultural heritage of Gujarat. This is the famous Dwarkadish temple situated at Dwarka, Gujarat. This is the famous Somnath temple. We can see here a very good design of the temple, of Shamlaji temple. It's a very fine example of architecture. Now we come to the well-known religious, social and tourism places and some of the events which become part of the cultural heritage of Gujarat. The first is the Polo Forest, which is situated in Vijayanagar, that is the Sabarkantha district. Kite Festival is celebrated on the banks of river Sabarmati on 14th January, somewhere around 14th of January every year, where people from all over the world participate in the Kite Festival. Next we have Kankaria Carnival, that is Ahmedabad, near the Kankaria Lake. Then we have Tana Riri Festival, Vadnagar. Tana and Riri, they were singers, duet singers, and Small temples, deri which we call small temples, are built adjacent to each other, and every year a festival is held over there where vocal singers come to participate from all over India and the world. It is to give a tribute to Tana and Riri, the duet girls singers. Next is Northern Dance Festival, which is held at Modhera. This dance festival is held at what we just learnt about the Sun Temple of Modhera. This dance festival, classical dancers from different parts of the country and the world come over here and they perform solo or in group, and lots of people come to visit and to watch this dance festival. Next is the Ranotsav in Kutch. In Kutch, the white desert, Ranotsav, that is an Utsav in the run. Ranotsav is organized by Gujarat government and lots of people participate in that Ranotsav. It's a very good event to take part in. Now we come to the tourist places of the Jain and Buddhist religion. Jain and Buddhist caves can be seen at various places in Gujarat. Some of the examples are Vadnagar, Taranga, Khambhalia, Shamlaji, Koteshwar, Talaja, Dak, Jagaria, etc. All these caves were built quite a long time back, and they belong to both the Jain and the Buddhist religion. People from far and wide come to visit this place. It is not only a tourist place, but it has a lots of religious values also. Now we come to another important topic, fairs of Gujarat. Now when we are talking about cultural heritage of Gujarat, how can we not mention anything about fairs? Fairs are held for various purposes. For example, harvest fairs are there, fairs for entertainment purpose. Fairs are held in remote areas for the purpose that people from nearby areas can come over there and buy and sell their daily need items. So, fairs are held for lots of purposes. Now we are going to study about fairs of Gujarat. Name of the fair, place where that fair is held, the tithi and time of the fair. Now this topic, fairs of Gujarat, is very important for the objective questions that are going to be asked. No descriptive question is going to be asked from this section or this topic, but mostly it will be asked in the objective section, that is match the following, fill in the blanks, etc. So this topic has quite a lot of importance. Now before we start learning about the fair, the Gregorian calendar that we use, that is the English calendar, starting from the month of January ending at December, that is the Gregorian calendar or the English calendar that we use. Same way, the Hindu calendar that we have learned in Social Studies 9th standard, the Hindu calendar that is used. Same way, there is an Islamic calendar also, which is used by the people following the religion of Islam. So we will find a mixture of all these calendars whenever we are referring to fair. The first is the Modhera fair, which is held at the place Modhera, which is in Mehsana. Now we have just learnt about the Northern Dance Festival held at the Sun Temple of Modhera. This is exactly that fair. We can call it Northern Dance Festival Fair or the Modhera Fair. In short, it's known as Modhera Fair. It is held in the third week of January. Every year, third week of January, this fair is held at the Modhera Sun Temple. People from various parts of India and outside India, classical dancers, they come over here to perform, and the spectators reach also from far and wide to view and watch this fair. The next is the Bahucharaji fair, which is held at the Bahucharaji temple, which is in Mehsana. It is held during the Hindu month of Chaitra, Sud Poonam. Sud means before Poonam. Next is Shamlaji Thakurji fair. Shamlaji, or you can say Thakurji fair also. It is held at the Shamlaji temple, which is situated in the Arvali district of Gujarat. This is also held according to the Hindu calendar in the month of Kartik. Sud 11 to Poonam, that is what we call Agyaras, that is 11 to Poonam. Next is the Bhadarvi Poonam fair, which is held at the Ambaji temple, which is situated in Banaskantha. This fair is also held according to the Hindu calendar. It is held on Bhadarvi Poonam. Next is Bhavnath Mahadev fair. Bhavnath Mahadev fair is held at Girnar, which is in Junagadh. This is also held according to the Hindu calendar in the month of Ma, Vad 9 to 12, that is before Poonam, Nom to Baras. Next is the famous Tarnetar fair, which is held in the Surendranagar district. Place of the fair is Tarnetar. It is also held according to the Hindu calendar. It is held in the first week of Bhadrapad. Tarnetar fair is a very famous fair, and it has gained reputation all over the world. People from far and wide, not only from India but also from other countries, they especially come to visit the Tarnetar fair. It's very lively and very colorful fair. Next is the Bhadiyat fair, which is held at the place called Bhadiyat, which is in Ahmedabad district. Bhadiyat fair is held during the Muslim month. It follows the Islamic calendar. It is held during the month of Rajab, dates 9, 10 and 11. Next is the famous Naklang fair, which is held at Kolyak, that is here in Bhavnagar. It also follows the Hindu calendar. Naklang fair is held in the Hindu month of Bhadrava, Vad Amas. Next is Madhopur fair, which is held at Madhopur, which falls in Porbandar district. It is also held during the Hindu calendar month of Chaitra, Sod, Nom to Teras or 9 to 13. Wanta fair, it is held at Dholka, which falls in the Ahmedabad district. Wanta fair is held during the Hindu calendar month of Kartik, Sud Poonam. Wanta fair is basically an animal trading fair where donkeys, goats, etc. people come over here to buy and sell these animals, and it is quite famous among the local people. Miradatar fair is held at Unava, which is in Mehsana. This fair also follows the Islamic calendar in the Rajab month from 16 to 22. Dang's Darbar Fair is the next one. It is held at Awa, which is the district headquarters of the Dang district. Dang's Darbar is held during the Hindu month of Falgun, Sud Poonam. Dang's Darbar Fair is basically an Adivasi fair, and it is also quite famous. Whole of the Dang district, it falls in the forest, and people from far and wide come over here. Even foreigners, not only Indians, even foreigners come to see Dang's Darbar, because basically the Adivasi culture is displayed over here. Tribal dances, tribal folklore, art and handicraft made by the tribal people, all of this is displayed over here. So people get a rare chance of watching the tribal activities over here. So this is quite a famous fair held in Gujarat. Next is the Gol Gajera fair, which is held at Garada, that is in Dahod district. It is held 5 to 7 days after Holi. Gol Gajera fair is again, it falls in the tribal area, and it is basically an animal trading fair, but people perform all types of recreation activities over here, and they also come to enjoy after the harvest season is over. Next is the Kartik Purnima fair, which is held at Somnath temple, which falls in the Gir district. Kartik Purnima fair is held in the Hindu month of Kartik, Sud Poonam. The last one is the Bhanguria fair, which is held at the Quant place called Quant, which falls in the Chota Udaipur district. It is held from Holi to Rang Panchami. Chota Udaipur is also a tribal dominated area, so Bhanguria fair is also recognized as a tribal fair, and people from the nearby tribal areas, they come over here for the purpose of recreation and enjoyment. Now let us have a pictorial view of the fairs that we just discussed. So we can see here the Modhera Dance Festival, or the fair that is held at Modhera. Then we have Bahucharaji fair. Below you can see the Tarnetar fair and the Badiyat fair. Next we see the Thakurji fair. It is held at Shamlaji. Bhadarvi Poonam fair, which is held at Ambaji. The Naklang fair, which is held over here, Bhavnagar. The Madhopur fair, which is held at Porbandar, Madhopur. Next we see the Bhavnath fair, which is held at Girnar, Gujarat. Then, as we had discussed, the Wantha fair, which is basically an animal trading fair, which is held at Dholka. Next we see the Miradatar fair, which is held at Unava. Next, as we had discussed, the Dang Darbar fair, we can see the tribal people actively participating in that fair. Next we see the Gol Gadheda fair, which is held at Kirpada, that is Dahod. Next is the Kartike Poonam fair, which is held at Somnath. Again it falls in the Gir district. Next we have the Bhanguria fair, which is again an Adivasi or the tribal fair. It is held at Chota Udaipur in the place called Kwat. Being a tribal fair, the tribal people actively participate in this. Now we come to the next topic, India, land and people. Here we get an idea how life may have started in the Indian subcontinent, how it developed, people, which were the people who initially lived in India, and other people, other tribes which came from outside and settled in India. Primitive men came into existence simultaneously in India and eastern South Africa. We have already learnt about the Darwin theory evaluation of the humans from apes. So these were the primitive men that simultaneously came up in Africa. Simultaneously means at the same time they came up in Eastern Africa, Eastern South Africa, and India also. Varied and prosperous heritage attracted many foreign tribes and they came to India. So the remains of all tribes are found over here. Now what does this mean? People, humans were already living in the Indian subcontinent and then attracted by the prosperity of India, lots of other people from outside India started coming to India, and thus because of their coming we find the remains of lots of tribes, their physical features, their customs, tradition, etc., in varied proportion all over India. The Dravidians were considered to be the most ancient people of India, but the modern researchers of linguistic and anthropology have proved that even before the Dravidians, 6 more tribes came and settled in India. Earlier, it was believed that the Dravidians, they were the most ancient people of India. But the modern researchers of linguistic means belonging to the language, and anthropology is the social science of studying human and human relationship. So according to the language that was spoken earlier and now, and the human and the human relationship in between any two tribes, etc., the researchers researched upon it that, and they were able to prove that even before the Dravidians, 6 more tribes came from outside of India and settled in various parts of India. List of tribes that came to India are: first tribe that came to India is the Negrito tribe, that is the Habsi people. The second tribe that was found to come to India are the Astroloid people or the Nishad people, then the Dravidians themselves. Next, the Aryans came from outside India. The fifth tribe was found to be the Mongoloid tribe. The sixth tribe is the Alpine tribe. The seventh one is the Dinaric tribe, and the eighth one is the Armenoid tribe. So students, Today we have learned cultural heritage of India. Then what are the different features that we include in cultural heritage? Then we learnt about the cultural heritage of Gujarat, places having cultural, legendary and archaeological importance, some of the pilgrimage places. Then we learnt about the places having religious importance. We also learnt about some of the social, religious, social and tourism oriented places in Gujarat which become part of the cultural heritage of India. Then we learnt about the fairs of Gujarat, the different fairs that are held at different places during the different time of the year. We learnt about the fairs of Gujarat. Then we started with the topic of India, land and people, where we learnt about right from the primitive men to other 6 tribes which came from outside and settled in India. Now students, today's assignment, that is assignment 2 for the second lecture. Please note down the questions. Remember that each question carries 2 marks and you should write at least 4 to 6 points to justify the question. Question number 1. Explain in detail about the cultural heritage of India. Repeating, explain in detail about the cultural heritage of India. Question number 2. State the different discoveries that are part of the cultural heritage. Repeating, state the different discoveries that are part of the cultural heritage. Question number 3. Write in detail about the cultural heritage of Gujarat. I'm repeating, write in detail about the cultural heritage of Gujarat. Question number 4. Question number 4. Write what all is included in the cultural heritage. Repeating the question. Write what all is included in the cultural heritage. Question number 5. Why a large number of tribes can be seen in India? Name them. Repeating, why a large number of tribes can be seen in India? Name them. Students should take care that before you submit your assignment or the homework, please make sure that you have your name, roll number, class, revision, date, assignment number, etc. clearly mentioned on the top. Thank you.